principal officers of the university here are seated, keynote presenter, lead paper presenters, the convener of this conference, deans and directors of the university, distinguished participants of this event, chairman and members of the local organizing committee for this conference, staff and students of Federal University of Lafia, distinguished guests, gentlemen of the press, ladies and gentlemen, good morning and welcome to the second National Conference of the Faculty of Education, Federal University of Lafia. The theme of this conference is Curriculum Delivery in the 21st Century for the Attainment of National Development. The Vice Chancellor, sir, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, to get us properly started, may I request that we use a few seconds and pray silently according to our individual faiths for the success of this conference. The chief host of this event and the Vice Chancellor of the University, Professor Shehu Abdurrahman, who is here ably represented by the Deputy Vice Chancellor Administration, Professor Ali Isha Shugaba. Can we put our hands together and welcome him?
The Vice Chancellor, sir, here ably represented by Professor Shugaba, Registrar, University Librarian, our lead paper presenter here present, and those still expected, all HODs, all the staff here present, my colleagues, dear students. It's another day for us in the Faculty of Education. We had this just before the COVID of 2020. We just finished the first ever conference before the COVID, and we thank God. In that conference, the hall was filled to the brim with participants from all over the country. It is not possible anymore to have that kind of audience because of the obvious insecurity around the country and the difficulties people are facing. We are actually not deterred by the number of people seated here for the opening ceremony, because we know that people have registered for this conference and we are supposed to have some virtual attendance also. The theme for this conference, Curriculum Delivery in the 21st Century, was motivated by the change in the university curriculum spearheaded by NUC, the popular CC Mass. In this conference, we are going to be able to look at some of the advantages of appropriate curriculum delivery, especially in the 21st century with all the demands of skills, creativity, teamwork, innovation, critical thinking, and all of that. How are we going to build this into our everyday experience in the classroom? Mr. Vice Chancellor, sir, I welcome you to the opening ceremony of this conference with your able management staff, and hope that we will not disappoint you in any way. Participants in the conference, students, I urge you to listen attentively to all that will go on, and if possible, attend technical sessions, because you're going to learn a lot from this. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. That was the welcome address by the convener of this conference. Please, can we put our hands together again? Of the second paper presenter, Professor Abbas Yusuf Mustafa. Mr. Can we put our hands together as welcoming, please, sir? And we to the high table, please. Thank you. Thank you very much, sir. May I, at this point, most respectfully invite for the Vice Chancellor's opening speech, and in the absence of the chairman after the speech, Mr. Vice Chancellor, you will declare this conference open. Thank you very much, sir. So our house seems to be very tired this morning. I think it's too early for us to be done with. Thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you.
The Registrar of the University, the University Librarian, the Convener and Dean of Faculty of Education, Deans, Directors, and Heads of Department here present, our lead and paper presenters, which we have vowed and stood for since the inception of this university. It is because of this that the university graciously gave approval for the hosting of this conference by this faculty. Conferees will also notice that in our university, apart from associations, national, local, and international hosting conferences, this university is ahead of others in having local, national, and international conferences being organized by faculties and even departments. And that is why we continuously encourage our various segments in this university to do that, because that is the only way we can actually digest whatever is going on in the various departments and faculties of the university, but to the glory of the members of the university and to the promotion of academics in order to serve humanity in general. The conference, unfortunately, is coming at a time where, as the convener said, things are quite abnormal in the sense that, one, we're having examinations, two, the economic situation, three, the security situation. But here, whenever we schedule a program of such nature, even if we have 2 or 3 attendees, we let it go, we support it, and we make sure it ends in such a way that conclusions, suggestions, and recommendations are not only made to us, for us to see how far our various academics are doing, but for the usage of both the national and international communities. The Faculty of Education has always been the forefront of academic activities in this university. More so that the dean of that faculty is the chairman of Committee of Provosts, deans, and directors of this university. So as a flagship, we have always expected her to lead this game, which she's doing profitably well. Dean, well done. I'm more pleased to have you. And to also tell our fellow paper presenters and lead presenters that you are welcome to our university. We shall always welcome you when it comes to the business of academics, business of research, business of exposition of innovative works that people have done and are ready to share with us and the general public. So you are welcome, feel at home, interact with our staff and students, including the management, at your leisure time, so that the world now is a world of collaboration, and collaboration takes place at different levels, at the management level, the academics, the students, and fellow conferees that have come from other universities. So I urge you to use this opportunity to make as much interaction with each other as possible. And we expect at the end of the conference to have some of the recommendations you have made for the benefit of mankind. And on behalf of the Vice Chancellor of Federal University, Lafia, Professor Shehu Abdurrahman, I, Professor Adi Ishaq Shugaba, wish to declare this conference open. Thank you.
Thank you very much. That was the Vice Chancellor's opening speech and the declaration of this conference open. Please, can we put our hands together again for the Vice Chancellor? While still expecting the keynote presenter, we're going to invite for the citation of the lead paper presenter one, Professor Steve Sebastian Amu, and that will be taken by Aikilo Rebi. Please, can I invite you for the citation?
Read the citation of Professor Sebastian Amu. Professor Sebastian Amu is a professor of business education from Honorable University Zaria. He has served as administrative staff. Vice Chancellor, sir, may I present to you an erudite scholar, a scholar of note, a scholar to be reckoned, internationally recognized, Professor Amu. You're welcome, sir.
But I also would like to recognize and appreciate the presence of the Vice Chancellor, ably represented by the Deputy Vice Chancellor Administration. Recognize the presence of the Registrar, who is somebody that I know so well. We came all the way from ABU together. And my also very good friend, the University Librarian. We can chat as well for 3 hours and we'll still be talking. And the second paper presenter, welcome. And I want to welcome all the deans, the directors, and every one of us seated here. If I jump the gun, I want to hide understanding on the existing protocol. I also would like to recognize my able dean, very gentle mother, always looking angelic, always. Well done, man. Thank you. Let me also appreciate my head of department, the head of Department of Vocational and Technical Education, Dr. Herman, and the chairman LOC. Well, it's before that because I would have appreciated and recognized the chairman LOC, but my HOD is very close to me. So whether I juxtapose it is because of the close relationship. But I welcome all of you and appreciate all of you. And I want to believe that this golden opportunity given to me will be thoroughly dealt with. The students that we produce are the ones that will combine other factors of production to bring about development. So we're the one. Even if the nation, what's my time? It's just like talking. Even if the nation does not look at us, that the first point of national development starts from curriculum delivery. Talking about the teacher. And surprisingly, many people don't want to teach. But that is the engine room. It's our product. The students who are here is when we deliver curriculum very well, we teach them very well. Now there is no job. We emphasize skills. We emphasize theory to bring them up so that they will be able to combine other factors of production and bring about national development. That is why we are talking about curriculum. And then let's start this way again. Keywords are national development and curriculum, or curriculum delivery and national development. But we can start it this way. We begin to ask ourselves, what is this national development? You know, my job this morning is John the Baptist's job. I am not going to talk about business education here. I'm not going to talk about vocational and technical education here. I'm going to go general on the topic on curriculum delivery in the 21st centuries for attainment of national development. So first look at development, what it is. When we talk about development, we're talking about a nation that's making provision to its citizens, providing shelter, providing food, providing education, providing roads, providing infrastructure, several things that can make life good for the citizen. Now I have made an assertion. So it's left for all of you to look at it that this assertion that I've made about national development, is it taking place in our country, Nigeria? Are we well fed? Do we care about education? Are we giving healthcare services as it's supposed to be? Do we even have good roads? What about the unemployment rate? Is it coming down? What about insecurity is being handled? But when these are being handled very well, it means that the nation is developing. Then the economic stability. If the economy is getting close to stability, we are talking about development. Are we together? Now, such elements of instability in the economy, instability in security, instability is that it means that our country, Nigeria, is still striving towards what? National development. But it's hoped that it's only education that can bring about development. Whether our leaders, whether our top position like it or not, education is what is the tool to bring about national development. Instead, they know. They know it. Because if you want to contest, they say, okay, I don't want to go to this another, but it pains me so much that the highest office in the nation, the demand of it is just a secondary school certificate. But if I want to lecture now, they say, bring first degree. That is quite injustice. I'm not a lawyer, so they should not pin down on my words. But what I'm saying is, I'm trying to paint the importance of education to even our leaders who are leading today and the countries this way. That before they get to that position, they also need education, because we ask about primary school for counselor, isn't it? If I'm right, they will ask about Attainment for the president of Nigeria. It's education. Meaning that if they don't have it, it means they cannot go there. They are not qualified. Qualification to contest anything is on the platform of education. So if they are there and they are doing well and the country is developing, the background is education. I am trying to give you a scenario of importance of education to what? National development. It's education. But I was making funny jokes there that at the national level, if you want to contest for presidency, you need an attempted WAEC. But if I want to contest, apply for graduate assistant, say bring a degree. So which one is higher? The highest position in the country, the qualification is education, got the right, but it's attempted WAEC, but it's all education. So you can see that education is very vital. It's a tool to what? To national development. I remember one day Mandela said something that education is a tool to change the world. That's what he said. I can't remember the date, but Mandela said so. That education is a tool to change the entire world. So if education is changing the whole world, it means that education has potentials to do what? To develop a country. Another person made assertion that education is life to national development. It's life. Meaning that a country that has no education is lifeless. And the mother now feeding could monitor the children very well, see their psychological whatever, and invite them and talk to them. That's where the thing starts. The development of a country starts from education on the lap of the mother and the shoulder of the father. That's where it starts. And so, even at that level, the teachers, the mother, the father, they come there around at the curriculum delivery. Informal one. So when they are being brought up to a level, they now move into what? Formal education that takes place in the classroom, in the laboratory. Formal one. So is that formal education now that we begin to look at the curriculum of it, because this one is formal curriculum. Because without the curriculum process, education at formal level cannot grow, and without the curriculum, the products will miss their way. Because it's the curriculum that organizes the teaching. So the curriculum will be developed, it will be planned, developed, and then delivered. Just like the one that Mommy was talking about, the CC marks. To us, Faculty of Education, maybe will look at the thing and say, this thing, can it stand? We have not yet implemented it. Because in my department of business education, they have cut several courses away. How can you take business education without economics? They cut it away. You begin to wonder. So we look at it, watered down. We had series of meetings, I presented it and several for about it. I was like, just keep it for now, just keep it. But it's good that you are looking at it. So we look at it. So when the curriculum is planned, developed, the delivery becomes us. There are several bodies that they are responsible for curriculum development and planning. They plan, develop it. There are several. NUC take charge of the university, NCC take charge of the College of Education, and MPT take charge of protectics, and so on and so forth. So when it comes to the university, because we are looking at it at the university level, and that is where this conference is going to be, looking at the curriculum at the national level, because this is the final point of molding the products that will be able to develop the country. So it takes us from curriculum. So what is this curriculum all about? Simply define the courses. I am not a professional of curriculum. I'm a professor of business education. But if whatever is here now, project will be showing you authorities, when I speak, I give my support as an academic staff, that not only me, this is my session, but it's supported by this person. But since it's not there, let me give you the definition of the curriculum delivery. Curriculum that I know, courses. The courses we run in our departments are called what? Curriculum. Activities done in the classroom and outside the classroom in the school environment supervised by the teacher is called curriculum. And then curriculum has components. There are components of curriculum. I'm not going deep, that's whatever related to business education. I just give you, as John the Baptist run the meeting, then when you go there, you can stand on my protocol and just say, this is the speaker said so. And then you conduct from there. But look at the component of curriculum. The curriculum must have objective. In my department, for example, of business education, one of our objectives is to train competent teachers in education. Our first core objective is to train teachers that will teach in secondary school. It's not limited. If they are lucky to find a job in educational institutions, they can do. But curriculum of business education, the objective of it, number one, is to teach where? In secondary school, after you graduate. That's one objective. Objective number two of business education is to train office workers. Because we train accountants, we train the marketers, we train office administrators in that place. So this is an example of what? Objective. And the third one is for them to survive in the business world. So we have three objectives in business education. And I think all the departments also have the objective. So that is the main objective. How do we achieve it? The next component is what? Called content. That's the courses. From 100 level to 400 level becomes our what? Our course content that we achieve what? Our objective of not effectively. So then that's very important. So the next one where we're going to do it much now is about the third component, the methodology. Not everybody is a teacher. Though when I was in secondary school, there was a debate that says teachers are made and teachers are born. Do you do that debate? Or have you heard about it? If you have not heard about it, maybe you didn't go to, I went to NC. Those were the ABU, we use scissors and shape it. When we're going to teaching practice, you can't dress anyhow because we're live molders. It's what they see you, they do. They don't even believe what their father said. Uncle said this in school. You can't argue with them. Uncle said that even Uncle Ma put that dread. So one put dread. So we are live builders. So not everybody. But let's look at what concerns the third component of curriculum delivery, which is the methodology, which is the pedagogy. That's why we're here. Everything about this conference is about methodology. When we go back into our department, we now consider some methodologies that can de-emphasize the theory and emphasize the practicals, so that students can be self-reliant, they will have employable work skills, so that they can develop our country, Nigeria. May God bless Nigeria. So, when we look at this methodology, we have one. There are just two types of methodologies. Even though you may go with them on the internet and say over 100 types of methodologies, but they're basically classified into two places: the teacher center and the student center. All of them. And then we will look at the strategies in the 21st century that can develop the intellectual capacity of who? Of our program. How can you deliver curriculum effectively with large class where NUC say 40:1? That's the ratio. At that teach about 300 students. How can you deliver it? Some are not even hearing it. They don't hear it. Some are even playing with their phones. It's a challenge. So teacher competence, some don't have the knowledge, don't have the experience, don't have the skills. But my father is an uncle, is in Abuja, go there and teach. Time I press one of them, political interference, no incentive, inadequate funding, poor financial management within the system at times can cause it. So, what is the contribution of curriculum delivery to national development? One, it helps us to guide the student, direct them in area of specialization, and give them the knowledge and skills and competence to attain the intellectual level that they will be able to serve their own country. Curriculum guide, facilitate, direct the student on what is relevant to be learned in the areas of his specialization to develop the intellectual capacity and ability for sound reasoning with a purpose to producing high-level relevant mapping. See, National Policy of Education, 2004. Let me tell you what it says. It gave us one assignment that we must produce students. You hear it, here 2004. Producing high-level relevant manpower, developing student intellectual capacity to understand and appreciate their local and external environment, facilitate the acquisition of both physical and intellectual skill, which will enable individuals to be self-reliant and useful in the society, promote and encourage scholarship. This is the assignment that 2004 policy of education has been given to us. So if we are to deliver this curriculum to achieve this, we must be able to what? Government must be able to do something for us.
Thank you very much, Prof. We appreciate this wonderful presentation. That was lead paper presentation number 1. Mr. Vice Chancellor, distinguished guests, please join me in welcoming with a round of applause our keynote presenter, Professor Chinwe Modumugu from the Benue State University. You're welcome, ma. We appreciate your presence. We would like to invite for the second presentation, the citation of the second presenter, Professor Abbas Yusuf Mustafa from the University of Jos. Let me invite Mr. Rebi to read the citation.
Going through the protocol, but I must singularly appreciate my senior colleague who is the Deputy Vice Chancellor here. He from University of Jos. So you can see what UNI Jos is doing. Thank you very much. Yes, for my presentation, I have 13 pages, but I won't read. I will just summarize. I have requested that whatever I have should be circulated to everyone, a soft copy.
Thank you.
Yes, when I was called upon to be the second lead presenter for this important national conference, the first thing I did was to open to see what are the teams, what is the team and what are the sub-teams of this conference. But unfortunately, I didn't see anything about measurement and evaluation in the sub-teams. Yes, the 13 sub-teams. And of course, I want to tell all of us seated here, thank God our DVC is from medicine and surgery. You cannot do without measurement and evaluation. The unifying thing for all those 13 areas is testing and evaluation, whether we believe it or not. All over the world, there are institutions where it's not among the sub-teams. What topic can I bring here? I said, okay, based on experience, let me look at something that is usually not considered by all teachers. And what is that? So the topic of my presentation is current issues in curriculum delivery in the 21st century. The place of soft skills assessment. Soft skills assessment. Ladies and gentlemen, I don't know, all of us seated here are teachers. Whether you are a student teacher or you are what do you call it, already made teacher. I don't know whether you have thought of soft skills. Yes, let me summarize it this way. My DVC, sir. What are we saying? I am saying that in your class, sir, when you are teaching medicine and surgery, the performance of your students does not depend on only what you have taught them. The performance depends on other things like their attitude, sir, their feelings, comfortability, interest, and so on and so forth. All these are tied to performance in a classroom subjects. You know, we teachers will make mistake. I have been teaching. Students are not following. Do you care to find out the aspect of soft skills of students? Whether they possess the soft skills requisite to understanding what you are teaching. Now, I said I won't stay long here. So I will read my introduction so that you know where I'm coming from. Curriculum delivery entails a multitude of issues and concerns that are important for national development, surrounding successful implementation and delivery of whatever plans are embedded in the curriculum of a nation. My prof, who just finished talking, has said everything about curriculum delivery. And luckily, when he was talking, he mentioned evaluation as an aspect of delivery. Thank you very much, Prof. Thank you, sir. Now, these issues include, but are not limited to, lesson delivery, methodology, use of teaching resources, classroom control and administration, guidance and counseling, sociological and philosophical issues, special needs education, and classroom assessment and evaluation. The aforementioned determine the extent to which curriculum delivery at whatever level is successful. Teaching and evaluation of learning are two related concerns in any consideration of curriculum delivery. They are opposite sides of the same coin. This presentation will take a look at the importance of soft skills assessment, which is a critical consideration, particularly in educational assessment and evaluation, and generally in curriculum delivery. Soft skill assessment is currently at the front burner in the determination of extent of curriculum delivery by scholars. In order to make education somebody, there is no topic in mathematics that I cannot teach to the dullest student that you will not understand. Because they even ask you, sir, you are teaching all this, how relevant is it to our lives? Very relevant. Now, meaning of soft skills. Let's listen to the meaning. Soft skills are personal attributes that describe an individual's ability to interact with others. In this case, to even interact with your subject matter. What are those skills my students are bringing to the class that will help me convey the message, that will help me deliver the message I have for the students? It is a term that is often associated with a person's cluster of personality traits. You know personality, everything about an individual, the way he laughs, the way he talks, the way he moves, what he likes to eat, what he wants to wear, how he responds to people, how he greets people, everything about an individual, personality. You know, habits, friendliness, leadership. This cluster of personality traits characterize an individual's relationship with other individuals and or groups around. Other terms that have been used to describe the extent to which your students possess soft skills, because it's important. Every teacher is supposed to have them. You can even go on internet. How do I measure attitude to school subject? You can download. You get materials from the internet. So the first instrument here is the interview schedule. Of course, you know what an interview is. An interview is an interaction between the interviewee and the interviewer. So we have the interview schedule. I won't waste time. When you get it, you can read. The interview is useful collecting data from subjects that cannot read and write, especially children. You can interview them because they can't read and write. Another instrument is what we call the observation schedule. I can carry my paper now and be observing. What is observation? What is observation? Observation is simply looking with a purpose. I can look this way now. I have not observed. But by the time I begin to look at the keynote speaker very well, I'm looking with a purpose. There is something I want to see. Probably I want to see the beauty of my professor. Then I am now what? I'm observing. Is that okay? Thank you very much, man. So, observation schedule is another one. Then another one is the popular questionnaire. Questionnaire is the most popular, but unfortunately, is the most abused. Everybody wants to draw questionnaire. Everybody questionnaire. Your student master questionnaire. Your student PhD questionnaire. But they are using it. They are not doing the right thing. You know, they are not doing the right thing. You know? So, questionnaire is another instrument that you can use to measure students' level of possession of whatever soft skills you want to take. We have another one we call the projective technique, to project. I can come in to your office, you just tell me you are very stupid. What are you trying to do? You want to see my reaction. You want to see what is my projection. Or for an interview, we are interviewing a candidate, and you for bank, we are conducting interview for a candidate for bank job, and you enter the room, they say you are very stupid. If you don't want the job, just tell him, catch you work then he will tell you, you just write. But if you say, okay, no, I'm sorry, sir. Anything, I'm sorry, sir. Get out of here, I'm sorry, sir. You see, this guy is a good candidate. Because if we employ him, he will not fight with any customer. Is that okay? Yeah. So projective technique, to project what you have, to externalize what you have internally. That's projective technique. Another instrument is the anecdotal record. What is an anecdote? An anecdote is a complete history of a child or a student. How he comes early to school, how he goes early, his interaction with others, if he has stolen anything before, how he responds to questions, even how, some children will walk like this, his lifestyle, his interest, everything about an individual. We call it anecdote. Is that okay? In those days, when we were in primary school, some 40, 50 years ago, they have what they call black book. I'm sure you remember, sir. Hey, when I fight with my brother, he said, I will tell the headmaster to put your name in black book. We thought the book was a black kind of book. We didn't know it's just a book of record of all that has happened to a child. It's an anecdote. There's nothing black about the book. That's also a way of measuring soft skills. Then we have the rating scale. You carry it, you look at rate. You rate. It's okay, I've mentioned projective technique. Personality inventories. There are instruments that are designed that are already online, personality inventories, and there are so many of them. We have the MMPI, Minnesota Multifaceted Personality Inventory. We have what you call the Draw a Man test. Is that okay? Another example I can give you. If I want to measure something now, I can come into this room, I give everybody a sheet of paper. I say, take 5 minutes, just write 5 sentences, any 5 sentences. My God, if you collect it, you will laugh in this hall. Somebody will write, I hate eating bad food and beyond. Is an important issue if the aims and objectives of education is to be realized in our dear nation. The delivery needs to be enhanced in the light of current advancement and development the world over. No nation can prosper if there is no guarantee that the curriculum the nation has chosen for itself can be delivered easily and successfully. The first lead paper presenter mentioned it. In the light of this, all hands must be on deck to ensure an all-round perfect delivery as far as our curriculum is concerned. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Prof. That was the second lead presentation from Professor Abbas Yusuf Mustafa from the University of Jos. We appreciate you, sir. Please come put our hands together for the professor.
Registrar, the University Librarian, deans, directors, and other senior colleagues here present. I will just briefly introduce our erudite scholar, a woman of timber and caliber, Professor Chinwe Madunugu from Benue State University, a professor of English Language and Literacy Education, one-time director, Gender Studies, Benue State University, a born teacher. As a mother, her work starts from home. So there is no, if we are talking of teacher, there is no better teacher than Professor Chinwe, who is gender advocate. She has mentored and supervised a lot of both undergraduate, master's and PhD students. She is editor-in-chief of 2 professional journals and on the board, on the editorial board of a lot of other scholarly journals. She is a member of various national and international committees. The Vice Chancellor, sir, may I present to you and the general public, Professor Chinwe Madunugu for her paper.
Sorry, when you come late to an occasion, you don't know where to start. I just want to, let me stand on the existing protocol. But I must recognize my mentor, the Dean of the Faculty of Education, Federal University of Lafia. Well, the last speaker, Prof. Maybe if I had met you long before now, I wouldn't be talking in the class. Maybe I would have been somewhere in one air-conditioned office calculating money, you know, because I would have loved to be an accountant. But it got to a point I knew I was doing well in accounting, but I needed mathematics to do accounting in the university. So I didn't need anybody to tell me to drop it. So we are one of those that in fact, I used to tell my students, it's because of maths that I know that there's no certificate of failure. Because when I went and collected my O-levels, maths was missing from it. That meant I had F9. Okay, really, I'm sorry I was late. A lot of things happened at a point I wasn't even sure I would be able to be here. I nearly slept on the road because my VC sent me to as far as Owerri to represent him in a convocation ceremony on Saturday. So coming back yesterday, there was a place that the road was so bad. We almost slept there actually for the Attainment of National Development. This is the keynote address, so usually it touches on here and there to cover the themes and the sub-themes. Well, we know that success in the 21st century global community is dependent on the type, content, depth, and quality of education received by individuals. As a result, the issue of lifelong, sustainable education has consistently been on the front burner in the national discourse. It is not out of place because to know what education means to us, to all of us here as individuals, to Nigeria as a nation, and to the international community. If I'm going somewhere and I see a woman like me with a big basket of firewood on her head, pregnant, dragging 2 children along with her, I will tell somebody, this would have been me but for education. So that's exactly what education is. So the socio-economic, political, cultural, and technological development of individuals and nations. And by all means, by all measures, it has been established that no nation that seeks relevance and competitiveness among the Committee of Nations will go anywhere if the education system of that country is not strong enough. So, what I'm trying to say is that not just the education, I'll keep talking about quality. Quality education makes awakening and nurturing of human potentials possible. But, yeah, that's the difference between quality education and education that is not qualitative. Ukeje, as far back as 2001, says that education is yes, the greatest and most potent tool man has invented and developed, ostensibly for his continued development and progress, or unwittingly, possibly, for his eventual destruction. This suggests that education could make or mar individuals and nations, depending on the nature and quality of education offered and received. And of course, if we know what we want, we'll go by UNESCO indices of good education. UNESCO said that the education, if it is good, you should be able to fight hunger, disease, political instability, insecurity, and environmental degradation. Is there any of these that we are not suffering in this country? So that means that we'll have to have a review think twice about the education we give and receive in this country. Regrettably, there's the evidence that all the systems of education we have had in this country, from pre-colonial to colonial to post-colonial, none has been able to really make those who pass through the system functionally literate. And like, okay, Prof is back. Some of us cannot add anything. If there's no calculator, don't ask me to add anything. Yet I went to school. And you know what mathematics does. It helps to develop ability to think. So that's the, okay. So the outcomes of that's the effective education. They are precursor to acquisition of essential life skills and value reorientation, which invariably translate to empowerment through education in order to generate employment, create wealth, and drastically reduce poverty, if not eradicate it completely. Well, this is why Nigeria has done so much to look into our curriculum. We need to go forward. We'll train teachers by telling. And when they go out to tell, we'll quarrel with them. Every faculty of education, to my mind, should have their own model. What is the model, instructional model that people are using to train teachers say? So that when you use that to teach, in the course of teaching them, they will now go out and know that this is what they will use to teach. We'll lecture, we'll tell. The highest thing we'll do is that we'll tell and retell, and they retell. And in the end, the teachers go out there. The value of education is measured in terms of the extent it has helped the receivers to contribute meaningfully to the society. That is why nations spend so much on education. Nigeria adopted the needs as a reform measure in 2004 with the hope that the critical elements of needs, which are value orientation, poverty eradication, job creation, employable generations, will guide the nation's educational practices, especially in curriculum delivery process. These measures have implications for emerging goals and policies in education. The new goals of education in the needs contents are to enhance access, improve quality, acquire entrepreneurial skills, and promote ICT capabilities, among others. This will go the way of many other pronouncements in the national policy of education, of not being achieved until we adopt instructional approaches that are innovative enough to place learning where it rightly belongs, and that is the shoulders of the learners. Strategies that will make the teacher go back a bit and facilitate learning and allow children to learn. We have done enough telling and retelling of information, which has not yielded much investment in education returns. So, can we try? There's a clarion call to move with the global best practices in instructional delivery to achieve education for national integration and development. Researchers have proven that collaborative/cooperative learning strategies have results in improving learning outcomes and enhancing social skills. Project-based and problem-based learning strategies have worked effectively in the sciences, mathematics, language, and social sciences. Pictographs, concept mapping are very effective in the sciences, reading and writing. Gamification allows students to learn difficult concepts while playing. Differentiated instruction ensures that learners are met at the ability and interest level. If we do differentiated instruction, we avoid Matthew effect on struggling learners. We need to meet them at their levels. What do I mean by Matthew effect? somebody did a study, an extensive study in literacy acquisition, and he named it Matthew effect. That portion of the Bible that says that if you have, more will be added unto you. And if you don't have, the little you have will be taken away. So he made a study and discovered that children who know how to read, they read more. Therefore, they sharpen their reading and writing skills. And the ones who do not know how to read, they stop reading. And after a while, even the little they have, they will forget. So if you don't use differentiated instruction, it's just instruction that meets each child at his or her learning point, learning needs. If you don't use that, you discover that the low students will eventually diminish completely. Response to intervention is very helpful in closing the gaps between struggling learners and able learners. Sorry. The last one. I think we must do, please, we need to develop children's language skills. Whether in the mathematics, any subject, nobody can read and understand anything when he doesn't know the language of instruction. What we do now, when we were in school, if you spoke vernacular at a point, you are asked to pay fine. So we all learned to speak English. The English you speak is the one you read, and that is what you write. But now, even at the university level, lecturers will not speak English to students who come from their village. So we have children who do not have academic language. Social language is not academic language. So they need academic language. The, Americans that read in their mother tongue, they spend money teaching children how to read and write. To the extent that if America wants to plan for what they call their home services, like the prison, if they want to make projection in the next 10 years, whether they're expanding, how much money they will vote to their prison services, they go back to American schools and take stock of the number of American children who are not able to read in primary 3. Because the idea is that given what they have done, if the child is not reading at primary 3, that child may not read. And if he doesn't read, there are no Meroa, there are no shoe shiners, there are no gate men, they don't have house help. So if you don't go to school, you are going to end up in crime. So the idea is that if they have 100 students who are not reading at grade 3, that is primary 3, maybe 70 of them will end up in crime and they must go to jail. Because there, if you misbehave, you go to jail. It's not here. Of course, there's even no judicial system. So I don't want that. I think you say you don't want to.
Don't go there.
So the point we are making is that, please, the way we are now, we can no longer continue to teach the method we call one size fits all. It doesn't work in education. It's not just like shoes. One size cannot fit everyone. So children have different modalities of learning. There are those that will hear and they will learn. Others will see and they will learn. There are others that if you talk from morning till night, until they see and touch, they will not learn. So our classroom covers only those who learn by hearing. So we need to do something about it. Thank you. I'm sorry I've been able to confuse you.
In teaching and learning process, these 4 elements are interrelated. Because if there's a change in one element, it produces an effect on another element. And when I look at the second paper presenter, I look at it down to assessment, where he mentioned that there are some things that are difficult to measure using paper and textbook tests, but they exist. and how do you measure them? And that is how assessment comes in. And more importantly, I want to pinch to the organizers, if these presentations could be made available for we the beginners, so that we can be able to utilize them. Thank you for the opportunities.
Like a lamentation, and I want to lament the first speaker and the last speaker. We are avoiding what I feel should be discussed seriously. The first speaker, first speaker said one of the challenges of effective curriculum delivery is having it done empty stomach. And while he was saying this, he said he didn't want to talk much on the other side. I think that is an area we are supposed to. And in his recommendation, he didn't even mention how we can do it with full stomach. He deliberately avoided that. And was also saying that he doesn't want to talk about it. When I see the official, the high table, the chairman there is from the other side, I feel these are avenues that we can talk to them. Let them know that actually these things that these policies that they are designing can never be implemented when we are not having anything. And also now we always say that you use the water in the stomach to draw the one from the well. And so if we don't have the water and nobody is even recommending, you are even being careful not to talk about it. The third speaker, who is the keynote, also join you in trying to avoid. I feel I should talk about it. This is the place we should talk about those things. We shouldn't be dying in silence. Just 2 days ago, I was sitting out eating with my neighbors. We were talking and got to a point started mentioning about our salaries. They sold me with pity when I actually told them and showed them my alert that this is what I take. The other one is with NESRA graduate, the fresh graduate. The other one with state security services. If they tell you what they take, it's much. So at that level, we talk to them, tell them. But then, this is the level, this is the place that is designed for us to tell them, let them know, let them hear that we are going through this fence. Thank you very much, sir.
Curriculum and measurement and evaluation. I asked this question because you said when you went through our letter of engagement with you, there was no such thing on measurement and evaluation. And that is why I want to know the relationship between curriculum and measurement and evaluation.
So, ably represented by the Deputy Vice Chancellor Administration, the Registrar, the keynote speakers, and the two lead papers presenters, the convener of this conference, distinguished participants, ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon to you all. Let me start by congratulating the convener of this conference alongside with our team for being apt in organizing this conference at this moment. There could be no better time for this kind of a conference than this period when the government on our part is first looking for ways of enriching our curriculum so as to fit into what's obtainable in the 21st century. Curriculum delivery or development, if you ask me, I would like to say it has to do with mode of teaching, learning, be it, participative or collaborative learning, even involving mentoring, advice given to students, as well as counseling, and most of other vis-a-vis the measure of getting the feedback mechanism from whatever that is being taught during the four walls of the classroom. And I want to believe at this conference, where we have participants from all over the country, is a better situation under which I know the participants will rub minds and come up with a solution that can greatly assist our nation so as to kind of ensure an effective learning within our society. Thank you very much.
Ably represented by the Deputy Vice Chancellor Administration, the keynote speaker and the other two lead speakers, the organizers of this conference, participants, staff and students, good afternoon. I want to join my university librarian in congratulating the organizers of this conference. I want to appreciate you because the theme of this conference has come at the right time. As the librarian said, the government is now trying to migrate from B Mass to CC Mass. This is the right opportunity for the participants to understand how to develop their curriculum under the CC Mass. We want to congratulate you, and the right caliber of the paper presenters have been chosen to do the presentations. I believe I've understood what they have said. Additionally, I want to also commend the three speakers because they have done justice to their papers. I'm not a teacher, but honestly, sitting down here, I've learned a lot from the three of them. Because when they were presenting their papers, I was measuring and evaluating them here. And I concluded that yes, they are really teachers, because from my evaluation, they are having good working relationship or interaction with their students. That is why they are able to present their papers and guide us through on how to develop our curriculum. Yeah, I want to thank you, sirs, for sharing your experience with us. We appreciate both of you, and we hope that at the end of the conference, the outcome of the conference, that the communique will help in achieving the aim and objectives of this conference. We want to thank everybody for coming. Thank you so much.
I'm not from the other side. I'm a teacher. There is no honorable in my name. If I was going to have titles, would have been doctor. The fact that I'm a medical doctor and I have a PhD. But you can see I'm on this side with all of us. So I was just telling my sister that ideally, the people that are supposed to hear what these fantastic resource persons have said to have been there. Like, look at the chairman of education. But this is the right place for him to be, because he is superintendent over the House of Assembly, where these issues will be discussed. Unfortunately, it's not there. But like I said during my opening remarks, that at the end of the conference, based on the registrar say, we should publicize the communique, and perchance somebody will hear something, somebody will pick something. Apart from congratulating the first dean of the university for finding these wonderful presenters, I wish she had done this before the CC Malbrohaha. Well, for medicine, we already have 420 credit units, so there wouldn't have been anything to add. You are a human being, and a human being, she's a human being. The human being in Australia is the same human being in South Africa, and so on and so forth. But honestly, these talks were done before the 30% business. It would have been fantastic. However, it's not too late. Yes, they have congratulated the LOC. And then, of course, during our last Senate last week, we had issues of where to place some of my colleagues, the library science people. And I will, on behalf of the Vice Chancellor, also throw this challenge to this conference so that say something about it in your communique, because they are making them look like orphans. They say they should go to social science. Social science said you didn't intimate me. Education said they need to go to where they belong to. So please tell us at the end of this conference where my big brother will be. And finally, the LOC. Well done for a wonderful job. That's why I told you that even if there were only 2 or 5 people to do this, it was worth listening. I have enjoyed myself thoroughly. If I had sent another acting vice chancellor to come, I would have cost myself. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
Represented by no other person but my very good boss, the GBC admin. I'd like first to express my profound appreciation to the Vice Chancellor for making it possible for this conference to hold, despite the tight schedule in the university as a result of the ongoing examination. The Vice Chancellor has never missed his words by encouraging faculties and departments to organize such events. In fact, I was told the VC was here himself, but because he is somebody that is time conscious, he was caught in between, and that was because of the way our team used to pronounce your name. Prof, you have done justice to your work. And to demonstrate most commitment, you were on the road all through. I don't know when you got to Makodi. I can imagine the nature of the road from Makodi to Alege or Makodi through Naka. The summary of it, there is no road. And despite that, here you are, and you are gallant. Now, how are we, some of us who are upcoming, we can have such strength to put in our best. We don't want to recognize everybody without recognizing my team. My team is the reason why all of us are here. Without my team, nobody would have been here. Despite the LOC shortcomings, mistakes, errors.
We call on all of us here to again use a few seconds to pray and thanking God for the successes we have come so far. Thank you. Amen. Thank you very much.